Good day. Welcome to Fairfield County Talk Radio. I'm John Marino, and we are produced by Sharc Creative, made possible by people like our title sponsors, Tough Lawn Lawn Service and Fairfield County Tick Control. Also by Ecosystems Irrigation and Lighting, Gutter Brothers Home Services, by Santa Fuel, by New England Motor Oil, by MDM Sanitation, by Good Morning Wilton, also Earthscapes Landscape Management and Development, Apollo Pest Control, Dagny's Real Estate, and the Wilton Chamber of Commerce. Here on Fairfield County Talk Radio, we are joined by Quinnipiac University Polling Institute polling analyst Tim Malloy. Tim Malloy, welcome to Fairfield County Talk Radio. You at Quinnipiac have released a new poll. A variety of different topics were covered with this poll of national interest, whether or not you happen to be in Hamden, where Quinnipiac is, over in New Haven County, across the border in Fairfield, or anywhere around this country. Quite interesting, the results. What is the state of this nation right now?
Well, you know, we did a very heavily a deep dive on COVID right now. And as you just said, we're all in the same boat. So one question for wherever you are, whatever county in New York State or wherever, applies to everyone else. Big deep dive on COVID. Talked a little bit about protecting the right to vote. We talked about what do you think about the CDC. But you eventually we actually asked a lot of personal questions about COVID, what it's done to you and your family.
Mm-hmm. What do those results show, question-wise and answer-wise?
All right, I'm going to try not to throw too many numbers at you, but I think what is most interesting is that 80% of Americans, this is a national poll, believe that COVID is the new normal. It's here to stay. Only 14% believe it will ever really go away. So there's sort of a grim acceptance of the fact that this is not, this is going to be part of our lives forever. That's probably the biggest headline out of this.
Mm-hmm. How about the CDC? What do people think about the CDC?
They're not crazy about the job the CDC is doing. 37 to 57% negative. In other words, only 37% of the people we polled believe they know what they're doing. A lot of changing messages as the pandemic has risen, fallen, changed, morphed, whatever it's done. So not crazy with the CDC right now.
But overall, people think across this country now, I guess, that we do have to learn with COVID. We have to learn to live with COVID no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And there are, in other questions in the poll, they're acknowledging the fact that it's really done a lot of damage to them and their families, emotionally and otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Now, voting rights, that's the key issue this week in this country. Where do people stand about voting rights, knowing that this can really vary from state to state because the states, at least right now, still control how we vote?
That's such a good point. A lot of people don't know that. They just figure it's a federal issue. It's not. Voting rights legislation focus right now, they're pretty much split between parties who would better protect them, Democrat versus Republican, pretty much split on that, which isn't surprising since we're polarized and split on everything. It is a concern. They are confident that ultimately the right thing will happen, and the dam will hold. Point being, you will get to vote and it will be your vote. But, clearly, and you're a news guy, this is in the conversation right now. And it is a state issue. So you never quite know. Depending on where you live, this could affect you.
Mm-hmm. I want to circle back to the pandemic for just a second. I know you talk to people about mental health and the effect of the pandemic on mental health, too.
We did. And I think that I'll give you all of them in brief, but 4 in 10 of the people we interviewed, if they had children, under 18, 4 in 10 believe it has had a psychological impact on their kids. And that is a whopping number and very, very troubling. Not surprising. We're almost 2 years into this and the kids have borne the brunt of it. How does a little kid understand this? Still wearing a mask, going to school in many cases. So that was one. 3 in 10 say that they've had to distance themselves from certain people they know because they disagree on masking or vaccine. 3 in 10 say that it's putting strains on family member relationships. 3 in 10 say other relationships with other friends. 11% say it's put a strain on their relationship with their spouse or their husband or wife. So, those aren't huge numbers, but when you think about it, a third of the people have been knocked around pretty badly by this in an emotional way and at home, and especially the kids 4 in 10.
Mm-hmm. Did you get into schooling about children and whether or not kids should be in school or not? And that varies by state, by neighborhood, that varies.
It sure does. 2/3 of the people we polled, this is again a national poll, say they think it's safe for their kids to go to school. That number has changed a lot. You go back a year or so ago, it wasn't like that at all. 71% of people with kids 18 years of age say it's safe to go to any school, high school. Only 25% not safe. So we have turned a corner on that, at least for now. At least for now. That's what we keep saying, at least for now.
Tim Malloy, Quinnipiac University Polling Institute polling analyst over in Hamden in New Haven County. Tim Malloy, you got into some numbers too about things like January 6th and where that stands, where it ranks amongst Americans as of right now. And as we speak, a couple of things going on TV. I finally see some more serious charges seemingly being laid out by the Justice Department. So the numbers you have may change again.
Half the country believes that it was an attack on democracy, and more than that number believe that democracy is in grave danger. And to add to that, we asked the question of who are you most worried about instability-wise? And by a huge margin, Americans are a lot more worried about fellow Americans, the neighbor next door, than they are about some foreign actor or foreign country. Go back, you and I were been around for this, 9/11. Go back 20 years, 15 years, we were afraid about someone coming from somewhere else. Right now, the concern is it could be the person next door or the person marching on Washington. So there's a good deal of concern about our fellow Americans.
Mm-hmm. Could be the person you live with, too, if you don't know that person well enough.
That happens.
Yeah, that does happen, unfortunately. And let's expand this a bit. Joe Biden, his job approval ratings, which keep changing, too.
Not a good job approval, 33% down in Trump territory. It's the lowest he's had, pretty close to it, actually the lowest he's had. So it's a very rocky start to his freshman year as president. And there's a lot of reasons for it. We can get into that, but COVID certainly didn't help.
Mm-hmm. Midterm elections, less than a year away.
They're split, Americans, on which party they'd like to see win the House. So that's pretty much a draw. Senate, pretty much split. More Republicans than Democrats, but it's 45 to 41%. People don't approve of anybody in politics right now. We've always had very low numbers as far as approval rating generally. 56 to 36% say the Republican Party is more committed to individual politicians than the principles of the U.S. Constitution. So that's a strike against the Republicans. In other words, Democrats get the upper hand on whether it's more about the people than it is about the politicians.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amongst the
a lot of numbers to throw at you.
a lot of numbers, no doubt about that. Those numbers change all the time, obviously. What you do a month from now could be, if you ask the same questions, could be somewhat different, as we know. Those issues that are taking Joe Biden right down, besides COVID, inflation too?
Yeah, the economy is getting worse, according to 54% of Americans. That's not good. As for the state of the economy, 28% say it's excellent, 26% say it's okay, 70%, 35% say not so good. So inflation, not a great deal of optimism on the economy right now, even though the economy is if you look at the market, we're doing okay. But inflation is an issue.
It matters on Main Street how things are affecting somebody's pocketbook.
You bet. And, you're just coming out of the holidays. Maybe people a little lighter on the wallet right now.
And Donald Trump, 2024, do people want to see him run for president?
Certainly 6 in 10 Americans do not want him to run for president, but the Republicans do. 69 to 23% say they want Trump to run in 24. However, that number is down by a fairly large percentage from a month or two ago. So Trump remains the most powerful person in the party. He can make or break people. He's in the news all the time. He's not out of it on any level, but he's lost a little ground with the Republicans. Nationally, they don't want him.
Mm-hmm. Tim Malloy, Quinnipiac University Polling Institute over at Quinnipiac University in Hamden. We thank you for joining us here on Fairfield County Talk Radio. Let's talk again, and all the best, Tim. All the best in 2022.
Enjoy your winter. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Tim. On Fairfield County Talk Radio, I'm John Marino, produced by Sharc Creative. We thank All of our sponsors, including our title sponsors, Tough Lawn Service, Fairfield County Tick Control 2. Also made possible by Echo Systems Irrigation and Lighting, Gutter Brothers Home Services, by Santa Fuel, by New England Motor Oil, by MDM Sanitation, Good Morning Wilton, Earthscapes Landscape Management and Development, Apollo Pest Control, the Dagny's Real Estate, and the Wilton Chamber of Commerce. Catch all of our Fairfield, Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, Dutchess, and Orange County Talk Radio programming on our YouTube channel, Sharc Creative YouTube.